The Jersey Swap podcast is sponsored by Apollo Home. Folks, your orange and blue are back in action, but chances are your air conditioning has already been running a full match and added extra time. Mention that you are a CST listener to Apollo Home, and Mike says he'll give you a great deal. Give them a call, send them a text, or you can schedule online at apollohome.com. We're back for another Jersey Swap. Can we really say that trip was necessary? We had 3 congested matches in about 8 days. Not much to show from it, but at least we've gotten some confidence in your orange and blue playing with the big boys down in Mexico. Of course, since only 4 MLS squads make it to the next round, the chances of advancing are not good with an early loss, as was the case with our next opponent. I'm talking about our fellow Queen City squad, Charlotte FC. We both lost to FC Juarez in some form or another. So now that this tournament is out of the way, both teams can focus on wrapping up the regular season and aiming for the playoffs. Perhaps a supporter shield is still in play for both of us. Let's bring him in. Let's ask Danny Brams from the Charlotte Soccer Show his thoughts on the Crown's postseason chances. Danny, welcome to the show.
Hey, Jeff, thank you so much for having me. Really pleased to be here. Love to talk to other MLS fans and other content creators, fan media, and stuff like that. You love, supporting each other. It's great. I am a proud Charlotte FC fan. Do the Charlotte Soccer Show with my great friend John Hayes here in Charlotte. But I do got a little love for Cincy. I met some fans from the Norden Eternal here on the Cincy at Charlotte match last year, the 2024 season. And they gave me this scarf, which I keep in my collection of various scarves. So it doesn't hang on the wall behind me, but I got love for Cincinnati, even though there is the whole Queen City beef,
Very nice. I mean, the Norden is sort of our northern affiliate here in Cincinnati, but it's also good that, we still have a rivalry, a friendly one to start. I really think that we need a second rivalry outside of Columbus. People say, well, isn't Chicago your rival or Nashville your rival? I think in proximity only, but I think considering that FC Cincinnati came up on the scene with their first home match against the Charlotte Independents, I still think that the Queen City Cup is one of our bigger rivalries out there.
Yeah, I like that. Nashville is everybody's fake rival, right? Nashville's only rival is with themselves and human decency. So for sure, I think that's a good take for real. I want to let you know I'm drinking. I got my coffee here as we record this on a wonderful Friday ahead of a Sunday match. But just to give you a little taste of the Charlotte Soccer Show, if you ever want to come check us out, I've known to drink a little wine while we record. Not every episode, but just so the folks know, I had this one. It's almost down to the bottom. I figured, hey, I might as well kill it while I'm taping with you, Jeff.
It is a Friday, so hey, it bottoms up.
Cheers.
Unfortunately, our live show is always on Mondays, so I never get the chance to crack open something then. But yeah, let's dive into this. We, like I had mentioned, both of our teams exit out of the League's Cup. Only the top 4 in MLS survive. Can you maybe give us some ideas, what your thoughts are of this exit, maybe what you saw out of Charlotte FC, and if you have any thoughts on the new tournament format itself?
The exit is too bad because Charlotte FC has no hardware, and we really want to win a trophy. I know you guys are very proud of the wooden spoon that you won a few years ago, so it's nice to have that. Any type of trophy for the hardware case is good, right? So it's too bad because Dean Smith had a death in the family and had to leave and go back to England for 3 days, and then flew back the day before our first match against Juarez. And he admitted that maybe he wasn't in the best headspace to manage that match. It wasn't the best prep. And that ultimately is what cost us, because we beat Monterrey and we got the point we got the equalizer to get a point against Chivas. So that, we beat Juarez, we'd be sitting on 7, and maybe things break differently and things like that. So it's too bad that the cup was kind of over before it started for Charlotte and for other teams. But in the end, I like this new format that just rewards total excellence. The MLS playoffs are already kind of famous for letting everyone in. So I like that only 4 out of 18 teams advance from the League's Cup. Mm-hmm. You got to be the best of the best. And if you're not good enough, you cut bait and you're on to the rest of your regular season. If you are good enough, you're in the quarterfinals playing for a cup. So I think that's good. They could probably continue to tweak it, but overall, huge improvement from the first 2 years of League's Cup. I really like the way it is. And there's no longer that long break where if you're eliminated from group stage in 23 and 24, you sat there for 3 weeks and did nothing. So
yeah. I'd say the tweaks have worked for the most part. I'm not the biggest fan of only the top 4 making it, but I also see your point that the top 8 might be a little too many to let in, I guess. But I think also that comes from you're already having 18 teams in instead of the entire 30 or so. So I guess that there's still a little bit of tweaks that need to be managed, and we'll see really how the rest of this plays out. If it means that Messi lifts another trophy, I guess it's job well done for some people.
Right, exactly. You could be a poverty club like St. Louis and not even be in the Leagues Cup. So, there you go.
Off your lips, not mine. Let's talk a little bit about.
I like to throw the darts around here, Jeff. I'll throw them. I don't care.
Let's talk a little bit about Charlotte FC. I mean, if we can do a little bit of a flashback here, the last time the discussion concerning the Queen City Cup, the general vibe was that Charlotte had their offense figured out. A 2-0 win, goals by Liel Abada, Patrick Ajamang. Late red card on our side. It really didn't affect the outcome, though. But still, it felt that at home, Charlotte was getting something done. What worked for Charlotte on that day, if you can recall?
Well, it was Patrick Ajamang, and Patrick Ajamang played so well at the beginning of the season that he got himself sold off to the English Championship, and he was just he was known and will continue to be known for the rest of his career for just being a total handful for a back line to handle. And I think the Cincinnati back line kind of didn't really know what to do with him, and it was just an interesting. It was just a great game, and it was just a great day in Charlotte. Now, having said that, Ajamang's gone now. And Liel Abada has sort of been in such a slump that he's played his way out of the starting lineup. He did start. He did come in and contribute to a goal against Rayados Monterrey last night, but he didn't start again. He didn't start, and so he's like fighting his way back for playing time. He did play good in his 45-minute second half appearance, but it's just funny that the 2 goal scorers in that match aren't really making huge contributions anymore on this team. So you say Charlotte had his offense figured out. And maybe they did, but they don't anymore. So they're going to have to figure it out again.
Maybe we can sort of veer off onto that. I was going to ask, what was working at that time with the Abada, Ajamang, and Zaha front line. Is it just merely the loss of Ajamang and Abada, dropping off? I mean, what about Zaha's role in all of this?
Zaha is continuing to create. Zaha has been really good at assists. He's and secondary assists, the MLS assists, the hockey assists. He's actually been really good at the pass before the pass, and just good balls, finding teammates, setting the tone, playing with passion. And he had some. He kind of went off in the media the other day after the match about after the Chivas match, which ended in the 2-2 draw and the penalty loss. He kind of went off and was like, what would you rather have? Would you rather have me do nothing? Would you rather have me just play like a robot? And or if you don't, because there's some criticism. I don't really hear a lot of this criticism, but I guess he hears it. And you know how athletes always want to have a chip on their shoulder to motivate themselves and stuff. I don't know what exactly who's criticizing Zaha, but apparently he's feeling criticized, and so he has kind of gone off on the media this past week, but he's contributing on the pitch, so I don't really have a problem with him. I think he's been when he came here, he was like, my goal is to win man of the match every single match and be the MVP of the league. And I don't really think he's going to be the MVP of the league, but he may not even really have been he hasn't been the MVP of this offense so far. Pep Biel has been the true MVP of this offense, who's now hurt. We can talk about that, but Zaha is contributing. Zaha's got it figured out. I do think, and Idonto Clamati, who is filled in for Ajamang, is also getting it done. So I do think Charlotte is going to be able to score on offense. They scored 2 quick goals last night, early second half against Monterrey. But it's just they're doing it in different ways. They're not doing it with Ajamang. Abada's not there. Now, the problem is that Pep Biel, who had one of the assists in that match, that 2-0 Charlotte over Cincinnati win, he's not going to be there. So that brings more of a burden on Zaha. We're not going to have Ashley Westwood, who's sort of that. He's a captain of the team. He's that box-to-box midfielder. Westwood being suspended for yellow cards that doesn't necessarily kill the offense. He's more of a defensive midfielder, but he contributes on offense, and he oftentimes is winning a ball back and setting up a play to spring a counter. He had an insanely good secondary assist last night where he passed it up ahead of a runner who then crossed it over for a tap-in. So, yeah, it's different ways, and the offense hasn't been the problem. The real problem, the reason Charlotte FC has struggled at times this year after a really great first month and a half of the season, and then they went into this prolonged slump, it's because of the defense letting in bad goals, just really poor communication on the back line. Goalkeeper, Christian Kalina, goalkeeper of the year in 2024, maybe middle of the pack in 25. He hasn't been horrible, but he's not been the guy that's like winning matches for you. So that Charlotte had a really strong defensive record last year. It's piss poor. I think it's second bottom half of the table this year. So
Can we talk maybe a little bit about that? I mean, I think part of it, I look at Andrew Privet being one of the roles. He's sort of been pulled back in favor of Tim Ream. I remember the first game they actually had Tim Ream as sort of an experimental left wing back. Is inserting Ream not being the answer, or what do you feel went wrong?
The best, I think it's the combination of factors. So the best situation that Charlotte had a defense was at the end of last year and the beginning of this year, when you had Ream at the left back, sort of a hybrid left back. I wouldn't say he was a left wing back, because he would play left back in defense, like when we're defending, and then in possession it would shift more to where it was almost like a 3-man back line. He almost played a third center back in possession, and he would shoot a lot of long diagonal passes. He has a really good left foot for long diagonal passes, so he could do the crossfield balls and things like that. But Nathan Byrne over on the right side would advance a lot further and be sort of more of a right wing back in that possession situation. And that was so Ream, Privet, Malanda, Byrne was working as a great back four for Charlotte at the end of last season in the playoff push, and then the start of this season when they were top of the East through the end of May, I think. And then what happened was Byrne got hurt. So Nathan Byrne had a neck injury, required neck surgery, and he went out, and we brought in Jaquil Marshall-Ruddy from Montreal, who's a young guy who he can play left or right back, and he filled in for Byrne early on. And then we also brought in a new left back, this guy from the Belgian league, Souleymane Doumbia, who was really talented and skilled, and he was actually pretty awesome. But then he had hamstring issues. He had like 3 or 4 really good games and promising. We're like, okay, this guy could be our new left back. And then Ream can go back to center back and maybe dislodge Privet, who's good but young and make a little bit mistake prone recently. And but then Doumbia got hurt. So Doumbia, left back, right back, Nathan Byrne's hurt. Left back, Doumbia's hurt. Tim Ream goes to the Gold Cup for like a month and 5 weeks or whatnot. And Jaquil Marshall-Ruddy comes in, and he has to start playing. He starts off filling in for Byrne on the right, but then Ream's gone and Doumbia's hurt. So Marshall-Ruddy moves over to the left, and he's wrong-footed over there. He's a right-footed player playing left back. And sorry, stop me when this gets boring, but and then Privet starts making mistakes, and then Malanda gets hurt, and we bring in this young guy to play right back, Scardina, and he can't play 90 minutes because he's not match fit. He's cramping up and subbing in the 50th, 60th minute. So then Kerwin Vargas, who is our right winger, he starts playing right wing back, and it's all been makeshift on the back line. So you can see, and at some point you're like, this team is probably conceding a lot of bad goals, and they are, because it's all been makeshift, and it's going to be makeshift again on Sunday against Cincinnati, because Bill Tuiloma now is back in the mix. He was sort of in the deep bench, and he can play center back or fullback, whichever, he's a hybrid player like that, kind of like Ream. So I think he's in contention. He scored a goal against Monterey, scored the opener against Monterey, was ruled offside, but then Leagues Cup, by the way, quick tangent on Leagues Cup. The VAR system in Leagues Cup is a million miles better than what MLS has. They drew the lines, and they rightfully gave us the goal. So, so who are we going to see on Sunday night? Well, Malanda was hurt, but missed Leagues Cup and is now back. Dean Smith spoke about an hour ago and said Malanda's good to go for 90 minutes, available for selection. So that's very good, because he's our best defender, and he'll be sold probably by this time next year. He'll probably be sold, I guess, in the winter window off season, maybe next summer. But he's probably going to start just because needs must. And then I could see it's probably going to be like Tuiloma, Ream, Malanda, and Ruddy, I would think, across the back. But it might be Ream, Privet, Malanda, and Ruddy. So I think Ream and Malanda are locked in. It's a question of where Ream plays. I think Ruddy's locked in at right back at this time. He had been playing over on the left because Byrne is back. Byrne played in the Leagues Cup, but Byrne probably is not fit enough to go. I think he went 70 against Monterey. You double check me on that, but he went most of the game against Monterey on Thursday. I don't think he's ready to start again on Sunday, but maybe. But I don't think so. So I think Byrne probably subs in second half against Cincinnati on Sunday, but doesn't start. Scardina is not quite to the level of Ruddy and Tuoloma, so that's what you can expect. I think.
I'm not sure if I had to write all this down for a quiz afterwards. That's a
there's
lot
a quiz
there.
later, everybody. I hope you know. Yeah.
There was a lot
and the
there.
Professor's drunk, so just kidding.
So it seems like the defense has pieces moving in play. We had that issue last season, really.
Mm-hmm.
Our center backs was sort of like a combination of everything, with everybody being so injured. So I can see that pain, that deal happening there. It does feel like your offense is starting to get retooled. You were talking about Toklamati, and then there was, I think, news about a transfer possibly coming in from Australia. Could you give us some information on that?
Yeah.
I mean, he's not going to be playing on Sunday, but
no, he wouldn't be. And Toklamati has been really impressive as a young guy who came in last year on an MLS Next Pro contract and then was brought up to be this backup to Ajmong, and then he hasn't missed. He's continued the goal scoring when Ajmong's been gone, so he's been great. But he is young. There is a buildup of fixtures. Dean Smith wants competition for that spot. So just today, last night, so about a week ago, there was rumors that Charlotte FC had a bid rejected for this guy Archie Goodwin, who was the leading scorer in the Australian Men's A-League last year. He I think he's 21, if I'm not mistaken. He's a youngster. I think he played for Newcastle, not Newcastle United. I think Newcastle in the Aussie League. Maybe it was Adelaide. I forget. I don't know. It's a half a world away. But so a week ago, we had an offer rejected, it was reported. So then last night, one of the best local reporters here in the Charlotte market that covers FC named Carol Walton, go follow her anytime you want Charlotte FC news. She confirmed a report from some Australian source that said that Charlotte was paying $2 million for this guy, Archie Goodwin, but on a non-DP contract, but pretty high price to pay, but not a DP when he gets here salary-wise. So, and then Tom Bogert, I think 3 hours ago from the time of you and I are sitting down recording this, Tom Bogert tweeted out that it was a pretty much a done deal. So I asked Dean Smith at that same press conference where he announced Malanda was good to go. I asked him, what can you tell us about Goodwin? And he played coy, and he was like, I don't talk about players in other clubs. But I figure if Carol's posting it and Tom Bogert's posting it, that we're probably getting this guy Archie Goodwin pending medical things and stuff like that. So that will be good. Again, he won't be ready on Sunday, but it's good. It'll be good to have another player sort of pushing Toklamati, who's been good, but I don't want him to rest on his laurels. Like, I don't want Toklamati to start believing his own hype and thinking he's got the thing locked down, because he is a good player. He did get a little out of his boots the other night. He got really riled up by one of the Juarez players in the first Leagues Cup match and like chased the guy down and headbutted him right in front of the referee. It was like, red card, bro. And so he missed the second Leagues Cup game, but he came back and did 45 minutes against Monterey in that dead rubber, sub at halftime, because he's going to be starting again on Sunday. So Toklamati, really good striker, really good finisher, good in the air, has scored headers, has scored tap-ins, has scored curlers. He's a good player. He can do the dribble to himself, beat a man off the dribble, and score in the box. So a lot of skills, needs to keep developing. Zaha is going to be on the left wing, going to be great, going to be creating, going to be trying to show off the dribbling feet and beat guys down the sideline and things like that, a lot of one-on-ones. On the right side, you can expect probably – so the thing is, it'd be a big question, Kerwin Vargas or Liel Abada. Liel Abada, the DP, he scored against Cincinnati in the first game in March. But he's been out of form. Kerwin Vargas has come in and been in form, has gotten in the goals. He's scoring. He's making assists. He's, famous Kerwin Vargas backflips that we love to see at Bank of America Stadium. He would probably have the slight edge, I would say, to start at right wing. But with Pep Biel, who has been the magician, has led Charlotte in goals and assists this year, if I'm not mistaken. I would call him a fringe MLS MVP candidate, although Messi and Evander are obviously going to be the obvious choices there. Yeah. But I would say Pep is like 6th or 7th in the running for MLS MVP at this point.
Yeah,
but
I would probably put him pretty close to the top. If Messi didn't explode like he did, I think Pep Biel probably would be in the top 3. And this injury is not going to help. So we'll see.
Exactly, because it's like a 6-week injury probably. I mean, he's recovered fast in the past, but I mean, Messi was injured last year and he won MVP. So Yeah,
Who knows?
his numbers were kind of undeniable. I'm going to vote for Evander. If they call me and vote, I'll vote. While I'm on this podcast, at least I'll be voting for Evander. But
I think Evander's probably got to get that supporter shield to maybe get the MVP award, much like how Lucho Acosta got his. If they aren't able to pass Philadelphia or Miami for the top spot, I think you're going to see somebody else get it, if not Messi outright getting it.
Yeah, I think it's easy. Like, Messi's just going to get up every trophy he can get, like you said, like another League's Cup for Messi, senior Messi. Why not? But
we'll see how serious his injury is. But that's another discussion for another day. I think. Are you guys done with Miami this season? Or
no, we faced them on September 13th, and I'm sure our billionaire owners going to be counting on Messi getting healthy by the 13th for sure, hoping to sell at that upper bowl.
Whatever you do, please do not move it to a different stadium like some people in the state did. But
yeah, well, I mean, we got the room. We got Bank of America
holds,
true. 75K, so we got the room for sure.
The Jersey Swap podcast is also sponsored by Beyond Exercise. Beyond Exercise is a local physical therapy and fitness business that helps people stay active and injury-free. In fact, they help some of our local MLS, MLS Next Pro, and FCC Academy players with their health and performance needs. Check out their suite of services at gobeyondexercise.com. Let's talk a little bit about this upcoming game, just to keep it within Cincinnati and Charlotte. I mean, I'm looking at game prep here. It looks like you had mentioned, sort of a 4-3-3, perhaps. Maybe that's switching over to the 3-man back line if necessary. You're saying Pep Biel is going to be injured, and
Westwood out. Let me just to say that I think Vargas will probably fill in for him at the 10. It's possible. Okay. It's or else Eric Williamson. Those would be my two.
That's true.
Bets.
Yeah. Another guy from Portland.
Yeah, exactly. But Williamson played big minutes on Thursday, so I'm not 100% sure. Vargas did not play, as far as I remember. So I think, and Dean mentioned today that Kerwin Vargas could play at the 10, so that's a hint that it might happen. So yeah, I think like Vargas and Abada on the field together would be something a lot of Charlotte fans would want to see, because they've been competing for the same spot, but they could easily work together, especially because Abada did have an assist last night.
Okay, very, very good, very quick there. Let's see here. Just looking to see how they could match up. I mean, as a Charlotte FC fan, let's take Evander out of the equation. I think we know how well.
Can we please? Yes, let's do that. Please,
if you're a Charlotte fan, who are you calling the X factor on FC Cincinnati that you are drawing a red circle around?
I would think it would be Denke, right? I mean, is everything okay with
he's
him?
Injured. He's injured, okay. So he's not going to be in this game.
You got Orellano, right?
Yeah. Yeah, Luca Orellano. Yep.
Orellano is a guy that was pretty effective against us in the last game, if I'm not mistaken. And I do think that he is someone. I think he had a kick. I think, what was it? He had a shot from the top of the box that was either just wide or just over, or it was like a crazy save by Kalina, I think. But Orellano almost scored an opener against us in that March match that would have changed the course of the game, I think, because it was when it was 0-0. So if I'm walking in that stadium and you ask me not to worry about Evander, I would probably say Orellano's the guy that I'm most worried about.
Yeah, he's finally popped the cap off of his scoring column. So at least, I think he's got more confidence in his skill. We'll see how much he's got in the tank. They didn't play him for very long. I think probably for 20 minutes against Chivas. And it'd be interesting to see what happens if we give him 70 minutes and then we bring on Ender Echenique, one of our new forwards as well, who's got speed to burn. That might be an X factor as well.
What I noticed is it did seem to be a very B squad that Cincy put out on Thursday. Even though there was a chance to advance with like a big win and some luck, it seemed like they were looking ahead to Sunday from the lineup that they put out on Thursday.
Yeah, I think we can interpret that the right way. But also the good thing is that you got Evander at least 10 minutes to play. So he's not totally cold going into the Sunday game, but he's also not overworked. We spoke with him earlier in the week, and he's like, I've played seasons where I've had 60 games out there in Brazil. So for him to exhibit tiredness or lethargic motions, I don't think that's going to happen. I think he's going to give you 90 minutes on Sunday. And so let's think of outcomes here. We have our Growler Cup, we have our predictions table where you can predict a win-loss draw and give us a score. Danny, who wins this game on Sunday?
I mean, the fanboy in me, I'm lucky enough to go on some shows. I've been on like Miami shows. I've been on Atlanta shows. People, kind enough to invite me in my bottle to come talk about the Crown on these away days. And I'm usually like Mr. Bluster, Mr. We're going to win for the Crown, baby. We got this. You can't beat us. But I'm not feeling good about this one. I'm not feeling good. I didn't feel good about Monterey last night either, and the fact that we were able to beat Monterey in a dead rubber where they didn't start their A team either was a little bit encouraging. But I don't feel good about this one. I do like Charlotte to score, but I just don't think that this back line is sorted yet. I'm going to predict a 2-1 Cincinnati win and not feel very good about it. But just being honest,
I'm going to up you a little bit. I'm going to say 3-1. I think that
what the hell, man.
Just for the fact that I think this team is starting to get things figured out. Save a little bit of wine for me there. Just because
it's gone now. That was the last of it. Yeah.
And also the fact that Charlotte hasn't been really great on the road, to be honest. I mean,
right.
3 wins, 1 draw, 9 losses, a -9.
And the wins are against Toronto and Montreal, right? I mean,
they haven't been very good. So I'm expecting
Atlanta. Can't forget Atlanta. Yeah.
I'm expecting I think Cincinnati to at least come out with a win. If they don't, then I think you're going to start saying, look, let's see how we can bring these new players in and fit them in instead of worrying about getting a number 1 seed in the East. I'm not as concerned with a supporter shield, maybe it's because I've got the taste in my mouth, as much as I am seeing how far this team can last in the playoffs.
I mean, you're sitting there 1 point behind Philly. I know Miami has the games in hand, but one of those games against us. So I wouldn't give up on the supporter shield just yet, but if you do lose to Charlotte, if the Crown's able to take you down, then I do get what you're saying there, because Miami is charging hard and Philly does not show any signs of slowing down. Really, it's all about the MLS playoffs at a certain point. Like, although my co-host on the Charlotte Soccer Show, John Hayes, is a big supporter shield guy. So.
I really think that if we didn't have Columbus win the MLS Cup the year that we won the supporter shield, it would be a totally different thing. We'd be getting a lot more shine. The supporter shield would be considered the highest pinnacle of MLS. But instead, because our rivals won the MLS Cup, now everybody sees that as being the pinnacle. It's frustrating. Once again, that's a story for another day.
Yeah. We've asked Dean Smith about it. He's a supporter shield guy, even just because of his English roots. It's all about finishing top of the table and demonstrating excellence. I think just again, it is another episode for another day, like you said. But just like the way the MLS runs from February to October, the regular season, like. So that's the supporter shield is a lot tougher prize to win than just getting hot at the end for me, the MLS Cup. But you still want to be in both.
We still absolutely want to be in the running for both as much as you can put into your trophy case as possible. Okay, so
even that spoon, buddy.
I think we've got Sunday wrapped up pretty good. Everybody listening, remember, not only are we going to have a game, but we're also going to have the alumni game afterwards. We're going to have a whole bunch of FC Cincinnati past stars. Not too far in the past stars as well. It should be a lot of fun if you're there. It's our alumni game. It's our anniversary game. The first home game we ever played was against Charlotte, of course. Yeah. So it should be
Jacks, baby. Go Charlotte Independence. Let's go.
They're still around. It's still around. Absolutely. I think I'm kind of jealous that you're able to have 2 independent teams within the same city like that. So
we'll see. Like it's tough because they don't cooperate very well, and we wish, just if I can make the plea. I mean, anytime I'm sitting on this topic, I'll say, please, Charlotte FC and Charlotte Independence play like a QC Cup, like right at the beginning of the season, like a supporter shield, QC Shield or something like that. But they don't work together very well. Unfortunately, they've done some behind closed doors scrimmaging, but they don't. The official stance of the other is to pretend the other doesn't exist. So
an interesting curtain to sort of peel back to take a look at. Very nice. So Danny, thank you very much for joining us. Finishing off that wine as well. I think this might be the first time we've actually had somebody finish their drink by the end of the episode. Where can we find?
It's a nice Trader Joe's red blend, and I drank most of it a few nights ago, but I had a little left and figured I'd kill it on the episode.
There we go. It's Friday every day. Where can we find you on the World Wide Web and social media?
We are at For the Crown Baby on Twitter X, because that's like our catchphrase. That's what we always say at the end of every episode. I say a baby at the end of pretty much every other sentence these days. So For the Crown Baby is our Twitter handle, and Charlotte Soccer Show on YouTube. Big time. I do a lot of like shorts on YouTube from the press conferences and things like that. And Johnny and I chop it up and make graphics and show highlights and get kicked off of, get our live streams kicked off because we showed too many video highlights of the goals and things like that. It's happened many times, unfortunately, but yeah.
Well, keep that crown warm. I think we're going to be wearing it after this weekend, but we'll see. We'll see how that turns out. We have to play 90 minutes first for that to happen. Yep. And also, everybody listening, thank you very much for supporting both of our outlets. If you want to hear more from us, go to Cincy Soccer Talk on your social medias. Go to CincinnatiSoccerTalk.com. We have a whole bunch of good stuff there. Go to your favorite platforms and you'll be able to listen to shows like Jersey Swap or our Monday live shows as well. So I say this on behalf of myself, on behalf of Danny. Danny, keep your kit clean. Thank you very much for joining us this time.
You got it.